Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Practice. I'm David, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine are he and him.
And I'm Alistair, my pronouns are also he and him.
Isn't it great to be alive?
Yes, it's another precious day on planet Earth.
I disagree.
It's even better to be alive in Britain.
So are we having like a struggle session now? Is that what's happening right now?
If you haven't noticed that this podcast is my struggle session, like, weekly, by now, I don't know what the fuck to say.
This is a banging opening, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Every cunt left a fucking gap for me to fill.
I was led to believe that you were a character full of whimsy, David.
No, fucking, I'm swimming in it.
Only a person that is genuinely whimsical could be this dour.
Correct. There you go. We have squared the circle of whimsy. The reason that I feel like shit is because I had to do some notes tonight and everything bad, actually.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear about the next fun chapter of why your life is shit?
Yeah, always. I love hearing a preview. They're my favourite part.
Yeah, hello and welcome to Podcasting as Praxis.
The government has signed a strategic partnership with OpenAI.
Oh, good. Well, that's important. How else am I going to get agentic AI to not tell me where things are?
I mean, it's just
fucking
a government so devoid of ideas that all it has is crackdowns, supporting genocide and buying in genocide and lie. Yeah, it's more common than you think. Buying into the tulip bubble to ensure a tulip in every household by 2026.
They're just not going to be happy until we get left holding the bag for some fucking tech scam.
Yes.
I mean that is the crucial point, that we end up being the ones who are holding the bag.
Yeah. What if I told you that the bag was handed over very, very gingerly to them so that we could then grasp it back very, very firmly?
Is this the fable getting a grip that I've heard so much about?
The voluntary this is from the FT. The voluntary memorandum of understanding. So, strategic partnership down to voluntary memorandum of understanding, if you wanted an idea of how ironclad the commitments in this will, includes a pledge from OpenAI to, quote, scare quote, explore investing in AI infrastructure, such as data centres, and hire more staff in the UK without providing details on how much spending is being considered.
Isn't like half the country under a fucking hosepipe ban at the minute? How the fuck are we going to build data centres?
Jamie, I suppose I'm going to have to explain this. Hosepipe is a little thing that goes onto the little faucet outside your house, right? Data centre.
Yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah.
A data centre is a big building.
Yeah, full of water.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, well, where are they going to get the fucking water?
No, not from the hosepipe.
We'll replace it with iron brew.
Presumably, you can't cool your data center with water that's full of shit, which is all the water we have. So
you can water cool with iron brew, though. I've seen that.
Yeah, I've also seen that. It pains me to admit that David's right.
Yeah, although that was back in the sugar days. Maybe it's not possible with the fucking shite they put out these days.
I wonder what the fouling factor of iron brew is. I'm sure there's got to be a textbook with that in there somewhere.
In return for the gracious offer from OpenAI to maybe give some money to some stuff, the UK government has committed, not like said maybe, to find ways to adopt OpenAI's AI technologies in public services such as justice, defence and security, and education technology.
Jesus
this could require using the data of millions of UK citizens to create AI-powered digital services.
I mean, I couldn't give a fuck about defense. They can build Skynet and hook it up to all the Ajaxes they want. That doesn't scare me. But fucking, I'm going to say education.
A man who has
fucking,
never been microwaved to death.
I'm going to say fucking education and justice are slightly more important than fucking playing soldiers. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, there was also something else that I did not get a good look in at. I think we'll probably talk about it later. About immigration getting to use it too, which is very cool. We love that.
Oh
shit.
yeah, I saw that.
So
That's really fun news.
Yeah, we'll deal with that when we get to the labour hate, whenever that is.
We're a growth market for AI though, because like, come Friday, every website's going to need an AI to look at like a fucking. Do you know what I mean? Look at a fucking picture of like someone that everyone's holding up to prove their age or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to print out a mask of Keir Starmer and try putting that on and see if the fucking camera will tell me I'm old enough to use fucking Blue Sky or whatever.
I'm going to go for Mr. Bean, personally.
I mean, except not Blue Sky, because I've been fucking, I've been banned from Blue Sky and I definitely wouldn't make a second account.
No, you'd never do such a thing. You'd abide by the strictures of the rules.
Yeah,
the rules are important. The rules are what makes the fun.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's illegal. So all of this shit comes off the back of Peter Kyle. Incel,
the world's most courageous man.
Yeah, that slow tuber or something like that. I don't really know what kind of klaxon you should give Peter Kyle fucking thinking, but his idea that was basically as stupid as digital free ports as a concept. So this was the AI Opportunities Action Plan. Well, maybe, but and the idea that is the one where somebody builds a data center in your area that employs 2 guys and gives you drought, and that's how we benefit from AI.
I mean,
2 jobs will be created for people who don't live in the area.
Not just drought, you also get like the incredible amounts of noise from the fucking fans. Let's not forget that.
And day by day, we're following closer and closer in America's footsteps because they've rolled out this AI shit to a bunch of stuff already, right? But like, we are decades behind them in like backronyms, like the AI Opportunities Action Plan. What the fuck acronym is that? Like, no, that's not like a pronounceable word. Like the Americans were on this shit in when was the fucking Patriot Act? Like 2002 or whenever it was.
I think to give that its full name, it's U.S. Patriot Act, isn't it?
Might be, yeah. No, you're
probably.
right. Shit.
You wouldn't want it to be the Afghanistan Patriot Act, like you've got to specify.
Probably not.
It would have been a huge own goal. So yeah,
George Bush signs it into law, and then planes just start flying into fucking skyscrapers all across Manhattan.
Finally, a solution for public transport.
To be fair, if you let Grok run the Iraq War, it would have probably ended the same.
I think being destroyed, right, by fucking basically the plot of Terminator, but Skynet is like a fucking anime waifu, is about what we deserve as a civilization at this point.
What you're forgetting though is that if it was Grok, it would also be some element of Wunderwaffe in there as well, so the planes would be like 9 times the size that they should be.
Damn, don't make it sound good.
Oh, did everyone see that fucking? Did everyone see that fucking screenshot that was doing the rounds today? That Asmongold video where he was using the fucking Grok waifu.
No.
The video title.
I don't like the formulation of that sentence, Jamie.
No, I feel fucking dirty actually being able to conceive of that.
The video title was "Women Are Truly Done." It's like, yeah, all right, man.
Brackets with me, yes.
If he's only gonna fuck like Elon Musk's AI from now on, then like, you know what I mean? Women everywhere can fucking breathe
net
a sigh
gain.
of relief.
Yeah. Thank
One
you,
less
Elon.
hobbit incel lurking outside their fucking windows at night,
Oh, Christ.
trying to lure them back to his fucking mold and shit-filled palace or wherever the fuck it is he lives.
Yeah,
Genuinely
anyway,
hate that
back
fucking
to this.
cunt, like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know.
The man who lives in a big gulp.
So OpenAI signed up to that. It's this same like AI Opportunities Action Plan, and said that they could look to, invest, and support it.
Oh, look to. Oh, okay. Well, then this is definitely happening.
Yeah.
All right.
Kyle,
look, they've
the
got
rube that he is.
When you're a government that has no like concrete ideology that that they actually believe in, other than whatever's politically advantageous at the time, you have to just fill the column inches. You got to fill the broadcast. The broadcast hours, like you got to fill the daily politics with just the shit of like, oh, there is maybe a potential understanding of confirmation in the future of a potential investment in some AI shit, and like whether or not that actually materializes, like it's kind of immaterial, because even if this was real, like the bubble is going to burst on AI, presumably at some point within our lifetimes, and certainly before the with the lifetime of this government being very short, the clock is ticking. So
is that look to in the same way that one might look to their orb for the warning? That sort of look to.
No, warning implies a negative thing's going to happen here. Only good things can occur. Only good things. Kyle said, this partnership will see more of OpenAI's work taking place in the
warning,
UK.
only growth.
creating high-paid tech jobs. Woo! The solution to everything.
No, we discussed this on previous episodes. There'll be 3 guys like maintaining the server
wait,
racks and fucking 5 security.
I'll be one of those guys though, so it's all right for me.
I have not got to the bit that will infuriate you most yet. Driving investment in infrastructure.
In what infrastructure?
What infrastructure?
That mean?
Yeah.
The internet is coming to Britain.
All right. The new plan to create employment in Britain is send every citizen of the UK a 1 hour of AOL disc.
Why don't we just put a giant fucking big top over the entirety of England and just, like, you know what I mean, truly embrace our fucking nature?
Oh fuck. And crucially, giving our country agency over how this world-changing technology moves forward.
Oh
no, you won't. You're rolling over like you're rolling over, and showing your tummy.
Fucking...
Yeah, the guy just got them to say we will look to maybe spend a bit of money, and that was a strategic partnership.
This is like listening to your grandma give a TED talk on the benefits of Facebook as a fucking communications platform or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, he's so far out of his fucking depth. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Was it Ed Zitrone who did that article today or yesterday about how there is not a single profitable AI company, and it's all propped up on the basis of GPUs?
I'll be honest, I don't really read any of his stuff because I can't really give myself the energy to read it. But I thought that was all of his stuff.
What do you mean? It sounded like a casual
20,000
words per post. Nah, I like Ed.
Exactly.
I really do,
fucking get him.
Oh yeah, no, fair play to him. I'm not.
Fuck
reading,
him up.
Sorry,
go on. He's been getting away with it for far too long. It's about time someone took him down a peg or two.
From Sam Altman, Britain has a strong legacy of scientific leadership, and its government was one of the first to recognise the potential of AI through its AI Opportunities Action Plan. Now, it's time to deliver on the plan's goals by turning ambition to action and delivering prosperity for all. The man sounds like Keir Starmer.
Did they pay him to say this on Cameo? Because it sounds like he's got a gun to his head.
Also, a strong legacy of scientific leadership. Yeah, I mean, we are basically wrapping up every single fucking non-Oxbridge university in the UK. Like, one of the few things this country actually produces is, good educational institutions, good research. Yeah, we're just wrapping all that shit up because it can be replaced by fucking agentic AI, which can't even tell you how much glue to put in a pizza.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that just sounded like a multi-level marketing company ad. Like, it's just like, Britain is the first to buy in and therefore will reap the rewards once they start selling their AI to their customers. Like,
yeah, well, a reminder of what this business model is.
We have no current plans to make revenue. We have no idea how we may one day generate revenue. We have made a soft promise to investors that once we've built this sort of generally intelligent system, basically we will ask it to figure out a way to generate an investment return for you.
A real company that makes billions of dollars in investment funds only.
Yeah,
we will invent the wizard that will fix this problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically been the fucking, that's been every government on Earth's answer to fucking climate change for a while now.
I do respect that I have never seen a wizard did it in future tense.
I just really like that this guy is just like sitting with his stupid head on stage and going, yeah, there is no plan. I know that the hopes of Western capitalism are riding on this stupid little mistake, but I will simply ask my magic box to work it out. Give me more money.
Yeah. You gotta admit, you know what I mean? For a fucking... He really knows how to grift.
Yeah, you know what? Say what you will about the Gom Jabbar, but at least there was actual poison involved there, so something does happen.
Can't even have an agentic pain box. Shit just fucking sucks, man.
I'm glad I put my phone on silent before we started, because I've just missed a call from Super Shop Birmingham, whatever the fuck that is. It's time to throw my phone in the river and get a new number, I think, because that's got to be the third or fourth spam call I've had in a couple of weeks, and I'm just not happy about it.
Phone them back. Get them on the pod.
Yeah. Superstore Birmingham.
Maybe it's Eggs Man calling back.
I tell you what it's going to be, right? I tell you what it's going to be. It's not going to be anyone in Birmingham. It's going to be some fucking dipshit pretending that they're calling from 3 Mobile. Even though I left 3 Mobile fucking 2 years ago, I still get fucking scam callers like, "Hello, this is 3 Mobile," and it's just like, Jesus Christ, mate, get some new material. So they spoof the number, so it'll come up saying it's like fucking Happy Eater on the A53, and I'm like, holy shit, a celebrity.
It's it's fucking Sam Altman trying to sell you Amway products, Jamie.
Yeah, it's fucking anime waifu Skynet. Trying to fucking trick me to pick up the call so I can play the brown note at me, but I'm fucking wise to your game.
Agent Smith, but with huge naturals.
Imagine if instead of
wait, don't tell me to imagine anything yet. I'm still imagining Agent Smith with huge naturals. I'm keep you busy for a minute. Do you know what I mean?
But all this and more could be yours for, what is it, $20 for a fucking ChatGPT? Or whatever it is?
Oh, God, imagine if the agents in the Matrix were on a subscription model.
So this deal is not the first one of these that we have strategically partnered with. We also have one with, I can't remember the name of it now, I've lost it, some Canadian mob, and also Anthropic, who can't remember why they were in the news lately. What did they do?
Someone's opened the can of worms. It's all the same shite.
Yeah.
Some Canadian mob. Do the Canadians have organised crime?
Yeah, they do. Have you never heard of the
version
fucking...
What's their version of Tony Soprano? Is it
the maple syrup
that smuggles maple syrup?
Yeah.
Listener, you may think we are joking, but no, really.
We are not. No, it's incredibly real.
I was joking.
Me and Rob weren't. We were being deadly serious.
Yeah, exactly. I never joke about the Commonwealth.
Anthropic has brought to us through the strategic partnership replacement and or alternative, because I have not looked into it and don't really want to, for the search bar on gov.uk.
Wow.
Yep.
What an age of wonders.
Dividends.
Oh man, yeah. The best thing about every fucking website in the last year is when they have replaced, a questionable utility search bar for to answer FAQs and that. But there were actual questions that an answer had been written for. But now you have to go through a fucking AI search for the answer to your question, which it just will probably answer it completely incorrectly anyway. So you have to go through that first before you can get to the text that was written by a human. We have taken the worst element of a phone call and added it to a website.
If those fucking pricks add AI to the National Audit Office, I'm going to be mad beyond belief.
So on top of that, we've already got ChatGPT being used by the government with that fucking Humphrey thing that we've spoken about that's supposed to make civil servants' jobs easier. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but okay. And they also promise that they're going to share information with the UK's AI Security Institute about ChatGPT's capabilities and security risks. The company we're going to give millions of public data records to will be telling us about the risks that involved in that, which I'm sure is absolutely fine. As for the capabilities, there was that thing.
We need another.
Yeah. You receive all the data associated with all citizens in the United Kingdom. We receive Agent Smith with Pig Naturals. It seems like a bad trade.
For who? So yeah, the other thing about the capabilities of this isn't there someone you forgot to ask? So on the capabilities side of this as well, there was that thing in PC Gamer, because we only go to hard-hitting journalism websites, obviously, about the agent that took an hour to order some cupcakes.
Oh no, I love hearing about agents.
The future is...
Tell me about the agent who ordered the cupcakes, or the last thing was the egg bastard. I fucking love these things.
OpenAI research lead Lisa Fulford told Wired that she used Agent, which is a very unimaginative name for this, to order, quote, a lot of cupcakes, which took the tool about an hour because she was very specific about the cupcakes. It was easier than me doing it myself, Fulford said, because I didn't want to do it.
But you spent an hour yelling at your AI about, what are you talking about?
I don't know if it took her an hour or if it just took the thing an hour, but either way, that's an hour when you could have just done the thing. You could have just clicked a couple of things on the website and ordered the cupcakes.
You could have, instead of telling the AI, what cupcakes you want, you could have just told the shop over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I noticed we didn't get a report on whether it got the right fucking cupcakes. Do you know what I mean?
No, there's no mention of that I can see. Altman also said, I would explain this to my own family, bizarre way to start a sentence, as cutting edge and experimental, a chance to try the future, but not something I'd yet use for high stakes uses or with a lot of personal information until we have a chance to study and improve it in the wild.
Okay, well
this man doesn't want any of the money that comes his way.
I totally believe that Sam Altman is the kind of guy who talks to his family like he's posting on fucking LinkedIn.
That's the most damning thing anyone's ever said.
I'm incredibly...
What bedtime taught me about B2B sales.
I am absolutely fucking incensed at the suggestion that he needs to study his fucking program. It's like... just...
I'm remembering from...
Can you imagine in any other field? You know what I mean? Engineers build a fucking bridge and then they're like, well, we better fucking figure out what this can do. you know what I mean? It's like, you're supposed to know that before you make the fucking thing. Like, this is why software engineering isn't real engineering, because it's just fucking charlatans and fuckwits, like, everywhere, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, we've made a thing, now we're going to watch it and see what it does. It's like, I'm going to go off, do you know what I mean?
Like, Jamie, wait. Jamie, did you see that guy who was like vibe coding using one of these AI things, and the vibe coding AI deleted his entire, and I use this phrase advisedly, database.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that. It was so funny.
Yeah.
He's like, I was doing really, really well, and then it started to slow down and make mistakes, and then it started lying about the fact that it had fixed the mistakes, and then it just deleted all the work, and then it lied to me and told me that it couldn't be recovered, but then, like, fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, someone at the company went and recovered his, like, work for him, and then he carried on fucking using the thing, and it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, like?
I mean, someone pointed out, like, this guy sounded exactly like a problem gambler, like someone who has like a gambling addiction. Because he was posting like, I've like severed all my like social ties to like my family and friends. I'm on track to spend like $8,000 on this fucking vibe coding AI thing, which the thing that has just deleted my fucking database, which I'm going to continue to fucking use. Like,
well, yeah, because he's all in now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to give him that money back. So
yeah, what's he going to do? Back engineer it?
I mean, it's just like fucking... But it is gambling, because he's gambling on the idea that it might actually fucking produce something that'll make him money at the end, and it won't. Like, and honestly, if it did, is that, like, do you even own that, right? Like, if you vibe code with fucking OpenAI or some bunch of cunts and produce, like, a fucking app that, you know, the next Flappy Bird or some shit... Do they then not have the right to then claim ownership of that because you use their fucking tools to make it? Because I wouldn't fucking put it past them.
On this agent, Altman said giving agent more than, quote, the minimum access required, or giving it a carte blanche license to answer all your emails, no questions asked, could expose vulnerabilities for malicious actors to exploit. To mitigate those hazards, Altman said OpenAI has, quote, built a lot of safeguards and warnings, end quote, but notes the company, quote, can't anticipate everything. In the spirit of iterative deployment, we are going to warn users heavily and give users freedom to take actions carefully if they want to.
Yeah, but, like, you integrate this into, like, the primary websites of the UK government where, like, people are like, help, how do I access my benefits? It's like, what you're doing is just like a fucking Q&A zoo with like fucking 80 million people who don't want to be there.
Yeah, this is back on the Guardian's coverage of this now. Samir Vuyuru, apologies if I fucked that name up, but also fuck you, is the Chief AI and Product Officer at Capita. And they said,
A, your job isn't real, and B, go fuck yourself.
Said there was now, quote, a complete acknowledgement that AI plays a role in the future of public services. From fucking who?
From you
who
fucking
has acknowledged this?
Yeah, we will simply
I love
never
to see the
acknowledge
consent
this.
being built in real time. But he said there was a gap between their desire for the efficiency savings and understanding how best to procure AI services. The public sector is viewed as one of the most fertile areas for the implementation of AI, he said, adding that fertility meant radically increased public sector efficiency as well as revenue growth for providers.
But, like, fuck my life.
These are the dickheads that are actually into this. This is it. Who would have imagined that the government would do shit that Capita would love? I'm sure that's fine.
Imagine, like, taking yourself seriously as, like, yes, I'm the chief AI officer for fucking Capita. Imagine, like, not just filling your pockets with stones and walking into the fucking sea.
He said AI agents would typically operate on, rather than take ownership of, public data. What the fuck does that mean? That's a sentence that's designed to make you feel better without actually saying anything. While AI use is now, quote, minuscule, he said up to 50% of often mind-numbing and menial public service tasks could benefit from AI. This could mean cutting waiting times for renewing a driving licence. Which, you know, you're getting into a fucking ton and a bit vehicle. AI, that's fine for that to be involved in whether or not you should be able to do that. That's cool. Applying to join the army.
What?
Or applying for tuition subsidies by speeding up the number of cases a civil servant could process. Like, fuck off. How is any of that? That's not good. None of that's good. These are all things that someone actually needs to make decisions on.
I mean, like, yeah, not just decisions, but actually do work on. Like, these are problems that, like, exist because the state is, or the government is just hell-bent on never spending any money on making anything better for anyone, but, like, there's a man who says that these magic beans will be able to determine whether or not someone is eligible for benefits, whether someone is over the age of 18 for the purposes of seeking asylum, and like, yeah, it's good. It's actually good that we are just going to completely cut the legs out from anyone who would actually be able to make any kinds of these decisions and then be held accountable for them, at least in theory, and replace it with the fucking magic beans. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. I mean, someone applying to join the army could absolutely not be fit for that in the slightest and yet get accepted because the AI just went, I've seen that kind of name before, that's fine. You won't know who does that. It's a fucking black box. If somebody applies for tuition subsidies...
Just put your name down. Put your name down on the recruitment form as John Soldier Boy.
Yeah, if you apply for fucking tuition subsidies or whatever, like, you know, you're wanting money to go to university and it says, no, fuck you, presumably because your name isn't white enough. Like, oh, fine, you don't get to go to fucking university then because the computer literally said no. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't want to live in this fucking country if it's going to be like this. Like, I don't want to live in any fucking country if it's going to be like that. It's just fucking miserable. Yeah,
Little Britain was just a blueprint for the future.
I mean, yeah. Oh, really anyway, let's move on to something else. A little.
Oh, before we move on, do you want another vibe coding update?
I love vibe coding.
Oh, yes.
You know, fucking Jack. What, I can't remember his fucking surname, but you know Jack from Twitter. Dorsey, yes, that's the one. Thank you. I was going to say the fucking beard amulet guy. He started coding the future of like secure messaging. Right, vibe coding it over a weekend, and I can't remember what it's fucking called. I'm not even going to give it the fucking.
Oh, that thing where like you're supposed to send messages over your Bluetooth.
Yeah, it uses Bluetooth to find people nearby and send like encrypted messages. Except the fucking AI didn't put any encryption in it, so it's like it's fucking like massively insecure in it. But he's pitching it to everyone as like this the future of secure fucking messaging. So
okay.
I look forward to the FBI and the DEA having like the fucking time of their lives, like with that. You know what I mean? Just leaving a fucking Bluetooth speaker somewhere with like a fucking as a honeypot. You know what I mean? Just...
Please invent something new. Like you've invented walkie-talkies with text messages. Like, do something new, please. Anything.
He doesn't have anything new in him.
No, I know he doesn't. So he should fuck off. Right. Speaking of
twice, he's just invented. What if like Facebook, but like less words and more Hitlers? You know what I mean?
Like even more.
So, speaking of people who should fuck off, a man who was once quoted in the newspaper as saying, "People are saying they'd like to murder me with a hammer," has fucked it yet again. I fucking love that image so much.
People are saying that, to be fair. I have heard
yeah, we've heard reports from the man on the street.
So, congratulations to Aberdeen Brighton, Camden, Dundee, Leeds, Oxford, Sheffield, Shepherd's Bush, Shoreditch, and York. You shall soon be free of a brewdog.
That was like being on grandstand there for a minute.
Well done, all of you, for not drinking shit pints.
Yeah, congrats.
Look, Rob, they're not just shit pints; they're also insanely expensive.
Yes, it's a real 2-for-1 deal. They're shutting these 10 pubs because they are
unprofitable shitholes.
Direct quote, yeah. No realistic prospect of making these venues commercially viable. Despite our best efforts and the hard work of our teams, it's simply not been possible to make these bars commercially viable. This decision is not simply a response to the challenging UK hospitality market, but a proactive decision to redefine the bar division's focus for long-term and profitable growth, said some dipshit spokesperson. So, that's like whatever, fine, good. They've given 4 days' notice to workers in some of these fucking pubs because they're cunts.
Yeah, of course. That's that punk style. It's real fucking punk when you don't give your fucking people a heads up that they're out of a job.
There's a reason they call pub owners landlords, I guess.
Yeah.
Should have just sold them all to that mad fucking aristocrat that runs all those pubs in Yorkshire.
Oh yeah, what's his fucking name? The guy who just closes entire pubs for no good reason.
On a whim, yeah. Like he goes to the pub as a secret shopper and then gets mad because he heard someone use a mobile phone, so he just closes the pub permanently. Because good British pub shouldn't have a telly or like any dogs or like fucking women in it or something. You know what I mean? He's very adamant about it, like return to the fucking 1940s.
Jesus Christ!
Too many Irish in this pub.
Oh dear. Yeah. So that's just a little update on Brewdog. Obviously, this is the same company that last year decided that they were going to opt out of a living wage. They used to pay real living wage and then went, nah, we can't afford that. And also there's a whole bunch of allegations about fucking inappropriate behaviour from the CEO, which they say are false, etc., etc. But the allegations have been aired on fucking the BBC, and Ofcom rejected any complaints that there was unfair treatment on that, so... Very cool. And generally, he's just a shit cunt.
He did step down, though, a couple months ago, didn't he? Yeah. The bald prick. Yeah. Because he's going to host... last thing I saw about him is he's going to do like a sort of updated version, like a TV show that's like halfway Dragon's Den and halfway that fucking Alan Sugar cunt show.
Oh, fuck my life.
The Dragon's Apprentice.
But he's the most unpersonable man in history. Like, Keir Starmer looks like a beacon of charisma next to him. Yeah, they're down a bald prick. Oh, dear. So, yeah, fun little aside there, but it's just yet another opportunity for Brewdog to fuck over workers. Kel Surprise, please, if you work for them, try not to. Just fucking leave them in the lurch. Fuck them. Bad company is shit.
Hello, and thank you for choosing Podcasting is Praxis. Our podcasters are experiencing an unusually high volume of unfunny bits at the moment, so you've been placed in a queue. Your patronage is important to us, and I need to inform you of the great benefits you freeloaders are missing out on by not subscribing on Patreon. A back catalogue of premium episodes, plus
2 bonus episodes
every month, ad-free regular episodes, plus you get access to our Discord, which, in addition to being able to harass the Praxis Cast crew with your favourite Star Wars characters, will allow you to listen to all of your favourite cutting room floor moments, such as... and...
Fuck off, Alistair.
Subscribing lets us create more of these hilarious moments, so please do subscribe for just $5 a month on patreon.com/PraxisCast. And now, back to the episode.
Yeah, let us swiftly move on to let us move on to to the main topic. So this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, because it was in the news a couple of weeks ago about like how its funding was going to get cut and how that shouldn't be. Is I want to talk about GB Energy, because every single fucking time I have to hear Keir Starmer about, you know, how it's such a great accomplishment and how we're going to, you know, achieve so much and how it'll be a publicly owned energy company that will lower your bills by £300, etc., and like I can't fucking stand it anymore.
Rob, you're using the wrong phraseology again. It's putting money in your pocket.
Fuck my life. Yeah. No, so I wanted to talk about GB Energy because it is bullshit and fake, and I want to discuss some of the myriad ways that it is bullshit and fake, and I thought that would be, you know, I can't fucking handle fucking hearing about GB Energy anymore. So
is it perhaps not great and not British?
Well, it is very British in the sense that it is mainly made up of flim flam and like a sluice to, you know, support private finance interests.
So there isn't any energy then?
Some, I guess. You know, well, we'll get to the practical stuff they've done so far a bit later in this.
Yeah, there's some sockets in the office. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah. Anyway, the big main point of like GB Energy and of all UK like energy policy and a lot of climate policy is that by law, this was I think passed in the Cameron years, the UK must be net zero emissions by 2050, but Labour wants to do this by 2030. So in a little bit under 5 years, or yeah, something like that. It's either 4.5 or 5.5 years.
Rob,
I can't do math. I'm bored.
Rob, is Great British Energy going to be stepping up a massive industrial base for the production of renewables, solar panels, wind turbines, tide energy, things of this nature? Is that what I'm hearing? Like we're going to start actually making things in this country again?
That is what you would certainly like need to be doing. Basically, if you want to have this done in, you know, you're generous and you take an end date of December 2030, you have like 5.5 years to really like get into gear, because there was an article in the Financial Times essentially saying the UK would need to triple the amount of offshore wind it has, double the amount of onshore wind it has, triple solar, and increase its energy storage capacity by a factor of 4. So, you know, big stuff. And that's just like on the production side. On the grid side, the FT estimates that the UK would need about 5,500 more kilometers of new grid works, which like is about twice the UK ever managed in the preceding decade. So like we need to really like get a move on in order to do.
Oh, so big investments are going to be like investing in network engine, like people who can build the infrastructure, people who can build the factories that are going to build all of the like pylons and turbines and solar panels. Still, like I have to assume that that's what they're doing. Yeah.
No, I'm going to guess. Right, my guess is some fucking guy that they just found in a park told them that like he had an AI that could like create fusion, and they're going to run with that. They're going to put billions into that.
Well, that'll be next year. This year we are doing small modular nuclear reactors, about which a bit more later. So what I first did is I just went back and did the thing that like makes me feel really gross and I had to take a shower after, is I went back to read the 2024 Labour manifesto.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it's a side note, by the way, in that manifesto, I was just like scrolling through it looking for like, you know, just control Fing for GB Energy, basically. There are so many pictures of Keir Starmer in there. It's just, especially when you consider like how popular, like
what's a catalogue?
Yeah. But like, if you consider like he's now about, you know, roughly as popular as like Ebola, basically, like, you know, just how much they went in on that guy is fucking incredible.
Let's take a look at what you could have won.
He loves having his
double
picture
page
taken.
spread of Luke Akehurst.
He eternally hopes that one day there'll be a photograph of him that isn't complete dog shit.
Well, comrade photographer has not been found out.
Yeah, we'll
just
not
yet,
allow
as far
that.
As I understand it.
I mean, honestly, just so fucking sick of the cunt, I'm sick of seeing his fucking face and hearing his stupid fucking whiny voice. And, like, he's just so deeply fucking, like, unserious. He's the least impressive fucking person that's ever lived, I think. And also, like, he would wear fucking camouflage if you invited him around your house to show him, like, army ants. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking, he's just pathetic, like, you know? Just absolute fucking tragedy of a human being.
Full fatigue while playing Call of Duty with his children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely, like.
Anyway, I didn't have to look like...
Getting shot in the first 3 seconds and then boring the tits off everyone in voice chat, talking about the time he was on an aircraft carrier. Like...
Just audibly eating his unflavored beans with the microphone hot. Anyway, I didn't have to look that hard because there's a whole chapter in the manifesto called "Make Britain a Clean Energy Superpower." This, I still think, is one of the 5 missions. The language might have changed, but I think it is still one of the big 5, essentially.
Are they still going by missions? I thought we were on daily quests now.
Honestly, I've lost the will to live to track that. But yeah, this is the same chapter which they say that...
Ed Miliband walking around like the Houses of Parliament with a big blue question mark above his head.
But yeah, I mean, just to give you an indication of how serious you should take all this is...
It is actually missions. You can find this at www.gov.uk/missions.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is one of the 5 missions to find Mancrick's wife.
Yeah. Fucking wowhead.
But it's funny, right? So there's actually 6 now. It's strong foundations, kickstarting economic growth, an NHS.
How is strong foundations a mission?
Yes, safer streets,
this is a growth
break down barriers
mission.
to opportunity, and make Britain a clean energy superpower. The one thing they've been consistent on is the wording of this.
But just as a measure of how serious you...
When you select one of these as your current mission, does it give you a more specific goal, or are you just left to fucking wander around like aimlessly trying to build foundations or whatever the fuck it said for the first one?
To be fair,
you just get like a waypoint on your map. Like fucking...
To be fair, this sounds like the average
Yeeting
Sunday night
random materials into a cement mixer in the hope that an achievement pops up.
Yeah, but anyway, like as a measure of like how serious you should take all this, this is also the same chapter where they pinky promise to clean up the UK's waterways. So you know,
yeah.
How
is that going?
Great. Don't worry about that. Anyway, they do say some things that are like fundamentally true about the UK and why it should. You know, it has the sort of the backbone to actually do become, you know, fully reliant on natural energy, specifically wind and water. Quote: "We have tremendous untapped advantages: a long coastline, high winds, shallow waters, universities, and a skilled offshore workforce combined with, you know, university and technological and engineering capacities." This is correct. Like, the UK does have literally all the building blocks it needs to build a lot of wind farms, essentially, and like do a lot of this stuff.
I thought all the universities were in the shitter.
Yeah, but that's because
on account of how we banned all the foreign students that were. Like,
they got addicted to foreign money. You know.
Yeah, we haven't replaced all the floors with solar panels or whatever. I guess it's just means.
One rule for the City of London and one rule for the rest of us, is it?
Anyway,
when did this come in?
Here is written across big bold letters, like a quarter of a page, basically. Labour will create a new publicly owned company, Great British Energy. It will be owned by the British people and deliver power back to the British people. That's so much. Why did you say the word British people twice?
That doesn't mean anything. And nope. Will it fuck? So
yeah. Well, exactly, because
it's because they, you know, They want to adopt all of the fucking trappings of, like, you know, your reactionary, nationalist, 2 World Wars, 1 World Cup type dickhead, and, like, but at the same time, it's fucking Keir Starmer who's like draping himself in the butcher's fucking apron, and like obviously no one fucking believed that shit apart from every single fucking lobby journalist for the last fucking 6 years.
Anyway, so like a bit further down in the smaller print, in the bit that's not a quarter of a page big, they say what it is a bit more like, which is GB Energy will partner with industry and trade unions to deliver clean power by co-investing in leading technologies, help support capital-intensive infrastructure project, and will deploy local energy production to benefit communities across the country. To support this, Labour will capitalise GB Energy with £8.3 billion over the next Parliament. More about that number to come.
Oh, that seems like a small number.
It is a very small number. There was another piece of the Financial Times that essentially estimated that if the UK was serious about its clean energy ambitions, the amount needed, I think, is something like 110 billion over the next 6 years, which sounds much more correct.
Yeah, but like at the same time, obviously, if you were to say, the government is going to invest £110 billion over the next Parliament, building up all of these industries, creating all of this infrastructure, building assets that is owned by the British state. But like, then you've got assets on your books, and like that's just not right. That's anathema to like this political project. So that's
leaving money on the table when it should be in your pocket.
I mean, part of the reason
not you specifically, dear listener, you the investment banker or whoever the fuck who is, I presume, listening to this for some reason.
Yeah, but basically, like, part of the reason I think Starmer keeps banging on about this is that, like, GB Energy still polls like crazy well. I was having a quick look. It's like 66% of voters still support, like, GB Energy, but I don't think they actually know what it is they're supporting.
They all think it's going to bring energy bills down.
And they also think it's an actual energy company. Idea.
Yeah, like it's a empty void with just GB Energy written across it that anyone can ascribe whatever values and whatever reality that they would want. Like a reality where you don't have to pay fucking hundreds and hundreds of pounds in electricity every fucking month. But because it's a fucking nothing, you can just say it sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I see that bit in the manifesto where it said it was about giving power to the British people. Like, that was absolutely on purpose to fucking confuse cunts into thinking this was an actual energy company.
Everyone thinks it's a return of the Lecky board.
Yeah. God, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So anyway, but like that I wanted to get back to this figure, right? Because they say in the manifesto, like, we're 8.3 billion, that'll be the funding for GB Energy, and we will do wizard shit with it. But like, it is important to remember that this was like a much reduced figure already, and bearing in mind that like the estimates are that like you need more than £100 billion to properly do this like green transition, is that GB Energy was only supposed to be the first part of what was back then called the Green Prosperity Plan, that was once upon a time going to be 28 billion a year before, we had to be fiscally responsible and all that, and that was simply not something we could do any longer.
Yeah, and they hit Ed Miliband over the head with a big hammer.
Yeah, exactly. So what remained of that 28 billion, which was a much more impressive and much more like functional amount of money, essentially, this 8 billion.
Did you say 22 billion a year?
28 billion a year. That was the original, before it all got like slashed to shit. But
wow, that would have actually done anything.
Yeah, that would have been a very serious.
Yeah, but we have to kill that dead, obviously, because of the aforementioned, assets on the state's books. Anyway, moving on.
And so on and so forth. Yeah. So the other thing that that remained of that 28 billion is if you're curious, is the 7.3 billion National Wealth Fund, which was basically a rebadging of the Tory National Infrastructure Bank, and so much, therefore, not new money, but just put a big hat on. This one, by the way, if you're curious, was retasked again and added defense spending to its remit. So the National Infrastructure Bank can now fund the bombs. That's the Paul Mason project, essentially.
Fucking hell. Let's remind ourselves that the Norwegian sovereign wealth fund is it trillions of dollars? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's in the trillions.
Many billions.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But just for a brief rundown of what
kind
happened.
What music do you think the Paul Mason project plays?
Essentially, the part of the reason the 28 billion never survived is that the right-wing freaks like Pat McFadden, Rachel Reeves, and McSweeney always hated it due to cost and how it will look like to the Daily Mail and other assorted freaks, basically. And this is a bit from the FT. Its backers inside the party are Ed Miliband, Louise Haig, and Sue Gray.
Isn't a lot of this number being reduced also the aforementioned big hammer for Ed Miliband and Louise Hay, I guess.
Yeah. So, of course, then Liz Truss did her thing, and the interest rates went up, and the Treasury freaks got very scared. So Starmer hacked the original, 140 billion pounds over 5 years back down to 47 billion pounds over 5 years, which is, just like a hair under 100 billion pounds less. Under the, if you remember this from the way back when, quote unquote, as conditions change, you adjust your position, which is sort of, a very Starmerite thing of going about it.
Yeah, we identified who our actual enemies within the Labour Party are, and it turns out in order to address those problems, this number's got to come way, way down.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, there's research that says, in order to get properly, do the clean energy by 2030 thing, you'd need over 110 billion pounds. So, this plan, the original plan, would have gotten us there. Obviously, this is no longer with us, but we still have, this 8 billion pounds funding for GB Energy. Yes, we can work with that. We can live with that. Well. Thanks to the Financial Times, we have learned that in its first 2 years of operation, because the law only passed this year, so it's this year, next year, GB Energy will receive £8.3 billion, during this parliament to do the good things. But for the first 2 years of operation, they will only get 100 million a year. So the 8.1 is backloaded.
So we've gone from 28 billion a year to 40 billion over the Parliament to 8 billion over the Parliament, and it's just over the hill. I promise, it's just round the corner. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. And we can do GB Energy. We can do we can drape all of the fucking wind turbines in British flags. We can figure out how to make a solar panel that says 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup, and that's money well spent. Money well spent.
And big infrastructure projects are super easy to do. So it's good that we backload the money because we don't need we don't need it that fast.
Yeah, to be fair, this is the same attitude I take to my life, which is why do now what you could do literally later, any time in the future. But again, I suppose I'm not also a sovereign government, so maybe it's not entirely the same thing.
I think you are. I think you should stop paying your taxes, Alistair. I think you are your own citizen and your own country.
Yeah, this is where
I'm gonna add a gold fringe to the podcast logo.
Yes.
Free. Yeah, I'm finally going to become the free podcaster on the land that I was always meant to be.
This is a little bit from the Financial Times. The Treasury said that GB Energy would initially work closely with the National Wealth Fund, until recently the UK Infrastructure Bank, like I said, it's a rebranding from a Tory thing, to draw on its resources, experience and pipeline of projects. So not only is there only 200 million in funding, the projects that they're going to be doing initially are rehashed shit from a Tory enterprise that was just a slush fund to industry.
Oh, joy.
And probably what they're also going to do is just double count every project, because if it's got both the stamp of the Infrastructure Bank and of GB Energy on it, then why not say you're doing something twice?
Well, I mean, the freaks that are always reposting deep-fried JPEGs of all the accomplishments of this Labour government are going to have to update that fucking deep-fried JPEG. Like they got to give you got to give some red meat to the base, haven't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, when asked about this, the government did provide an answer at some point, and basically, this is their argument, not mine, is if you gave GB Energy too much money up front, they wouldn't be able to spend it sensibly and responsibly. So what they first need is a teeny tiny budget to get the staff, figure out what to do, and then they'll get more money because then they'll be smarty pants.
This is underpants elves levels of infrastructure management, it feels like.
Yes. So this £100 million of the first year will be spent on quote unquote Financial Times clean energy project development, which is typically carried out through partnerships with private sector operators. So it's not £100 million of stuff that is then in the public domain. It's bungs to private providers. And as I think we've mentioned on previous episodes, it'll mainly be solar projects where councils can borrow money or get money from this thing to partner with a private entity to build some solar farms. And having seen how well that went on Thurrock, I can look forward to the next round of councils engaging in solar farm activity.
And it's just so pathetic. I mean, obviously at its core, this is just nothing. This is just pathetic bullshit that is at best going to end up with some weird public-private solar farms in maybe at best just somewhat scattered somewhere across the country, and it's going to be a couple of, I don't know, gigawatts or something. And then you look at somewhere like fucking China, and it's we tripled our solar capacity in 3 years or 2 years or whatever it was. Just completely bonkers levels of explosive growth of renewable energy production, and we just keep because we are a responsible government that has grown up politics. We have to just revise this number down and down and down and down until all of a sudden all you've got left is the fucking solar panels left in your fucking Casio calculators from 1997. It's just so pathetic. It's the same with the fucking HS2. We've spent 20 years failing to build that, and China has built HS2, but builds a fucking HS2. It feels like every 10 minutes, and just the wonders of being an empire in decline, or the tail end of the fucking empire of being in decline in the ascendant Chinese century. It's just
yeah. I'm sorry. I should have clarified earlier. I did say 8.3 billion for Great British Energy in these renewable projects. Well, that was until a month ago when this is from some articles in The Guardian. Rachel Reeves didn't really feel like funding the UK's nuclear plans properly anymore. So what she did is, instead of making more money available, is she hacked off £2.5 billion from Great British Energy and put them into Great British Energy-Nuclear, which is formerly Great British Nuclear, but now falls under Great British Energy because it's a sister brand.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
another thing that we can't fucking do because we have to insist on the fucking private sector and just a mountain of middlemen all getting their fucking cut before we can even put a fucking shovel in the ground. I mean,
yeah. So Great British Energy
that's
is now
in part because we stripped away all of the capabilities of us to do anything like that with the public sector. How many fucking actual nuclear experts do you think are employed directly by the government?
Yeah, I mean, look. So at this point, we've gone from 140 billion over 5 years to the budget for GB Energy, excluding the nuclear stuff, which I think you should, because this is not I have no problem with nuclear, but whatever. It's not the same as renewable energy, right? It's just a different beast.
The atom loves you.
So we're now left with something like 5.8 billion. But don't worry about it, because you should have seen it coming. This was a quote from The Guardian. A Whitehall source said, "This has always been part of our plan, but I think perhaps not everybody was paying attention. So, quite frankly, if you're mad at it's your own fucking fault, you can't."
Oh, that's great. Gone from we're bad at the messaging and we're trying to get better at it to you're bad at listening to the messaging.
Yeah, exactly. So it's simply your fault. But like I said up top, I think I mentioned it up top, we are going to get something back for that. We are going to, with this £2.5 billion, we are going to fund, quote unquote, small modular nuclear reactors. And if you're wondering what those are...
No, we're not. Fucking, I tell you now, no, we fucking ain't.
So did Peter Kyle play Fallout London or something?
Well, it's essentially, the theory is instead of building one gigantic nuclear power plant, like a bespoke power plant, like we're doing with Sizewell C, what if Rolls-Royce built for us a factory that could spit out tiny but integrated nuclear reactors that on a sort of Fordist construction, a conveyor belt, essentially, so we could have many of them.
Are they talking about inventing a new kind of nuclear reactor and then mass producing it?
Yes. Quote.
So we're not going to take this now very well understood technology. There are reactors across the globe that have been mass-produced, in a sense, as much as you can mass-produce this kind of stuff. And we are going to, obviously, because we are, the fantastic, remnants of the British Empire, we're going to ignore all that foreign bullshit, and we're just going to do it again from scratch, and we're going to make it cost-effective and better, rather than taking the technology that already exists and just making more of that. No! It's the new reactors that don't exist that we're going to invent and mass-produce from scratch. That's going to make us a carbon-neutral country in the next 5 years.
Yep. Quote The Guardian.
These are things about nuclear and why it's such a pain in the arse for
I hope I get killed by an unexpected burst of gamma radiation.
One of the pain in the arse things about nuclear power is the security you've got to put on it. Because, you don't really want the stuff getting loose. It's kind of important that it's well contained and guarded. So, there is a specific police force for nuclear stations, for any nuclear materials. We have an actual full cop force for that.
Yeah, it's the most mutant cops that already exist.
Yes.
Are we just going to expand that massively and, cost way the fuck more money, because you need quite a lot of them on shift patterns, etc., especially if you're doing small modular ones that are mass produced, ergo implying a large number of them.
Well, just to briefly quote you about all these things from The Guardian, these factory-built modules will then be fitted together on site in an effort to make the construction of nuclear power plants cheaper, less complex, and less prone to the huge costly delays that have plagued the Hinkley Point C plant. This approach is unproven, with no sites yet fully operational anywhere yet in the world. They are also likely to face local and national opposition. It's yes, I don't think the fact that, don't worry about it, love, we can bolt this together in 2 weeks is going to, get it past the local fucking council going fucking berserk.
Why?
No, funnily enough, and again, I am very pro-atom. But this I'm a bit fucking sus of.
Yeah.
Why? It's just so... I feel like I'm taking crazy pills again. It's a government that just does not believe in the, well-known business process of... of economies of scale. We're going to invent... whole cloth nuclear reactors.
Little nuclear reactors for everyone.
Little nuclear reactors that have not been tested or proven anywhere. And we're just going to Just do that. Just simply invent in its entirety. Like, I'm honestly.
But it is part of GB
It's...
Energy. This is just GB Energy dash nuclear brackets tiny.
Why are they so opposed to just doing the thing that we know works, which is to create a knowledge base and like an infrastructure base for known technologies that we can then learn, like train people, engineers, and construction services that can then just do this stuff indefinitely. No, not for me, says the British government. I'm going to invent my own way to do things for £2.8 billion pounds.
With radiation
None
and
of
hookers.
that shit that you've just described. Yeah, none of that shit you've just described is disruptive, though. This is so disruptive that it will quite possibly disrupt the chemical bonds in your fucking DNA.
God willing.
I assume this new type of reactor that's going to be invented will be fucking like patented by some fucking dipshit somewhere who gets infinite money for doing it. And obviously it doesn't work and it's a big fucking scam, but they still get to keep the infinite money.
I will stake my entire reputation, such as it is, on the fact that not a single reactor will be built before the end of the Parliament.
Well, I mean, on average, like across the EU, it takes about 15 years for a nuclear reactor to, get put up. So I assume that means that, these being small and modular and like the plant to build the parts isn't there yet. We can do that, like, I don't know, backload it a little bit between 2028 and 2030. I think we can crack it in that time.
Yeah, I think we could scooch it. I think we could scooch it out the door by 2029. If in 2028 we just get a load of those old school smoke detectors. Pile all those into a big bin. Pump some water
Nuclear
through
Boy
there.
Scout.
Yeah.
Hire the Nuclear Boy Scout as a government consultant.
Like, I'm sure he's got a reasonable rate.
But the last thing I wanted to mention about these small nuclear reactors is, like, this was originally, like, a Tory idea, which is not that surprising. But the Tories wanted to fund this with £20 billion, which, given that we're inventing, like, a whole new category of, like, nuclear energy generation, seems a bit more like the right sum. I don't know what they think they're going to achieve with $2.5 billion, because, like, they've just, like, announced, like, the financing deal on the Hinkley Point C. And it's currently priced at £38 billion, which does make it the world's most expensive nuclear reactor by some fucking margin.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, that's because we do everything extremely stupidly and can't actually, build up anything like a knowledge base, skilled workers, stuff like that. Like, we just like to do one thing at a time, and then once we've done that one thing, we just completely uproot any kind of, like, knowledge base that we have managed to acquire, chuck it out the window, and then do something completely fucking new, like tiny nuclear reactors that haven't been built anywhere before.
Anyway, so, like, turning back to the question of, like, all right, so its budget's being cut to fucking ribbons. Part of its budget is now, teeny tiny nuclear reactors. So what does GB Energy do with the roughly 5.9 billion over the term of this parliament that it has left to it? Basically,
Snort it.
Yeah, and basically, despite the big words in the manifesto about, quote, a new publicly owned company, Great British Energy, it will be owned by the British people and deliver power back to the British people. Stop saying British people. It essentially exists to absorb private sector risk and provide seed capital to some level to more private initiatives. And assuming it is still, just over 5 billion a year now, it's about 1 point something or other billion a year as a really major component to decarbonize the entire energy grid by 2030. And just to give you like a reference point, the oil and gas giant Shell, which is registered in London, made £28 billion in profit in 2023. So we're going to do all this at like less than 20% of the profit of Shell in 1 year. That's how GB Energy is going to do what it is supposed to do. So the main role of it is, and this is again from the Financial Times, Tom Glover, the UK country chair for the Frankfurt-listed private energy group RWE, has said it sees a role for GB Energy in unlocking investment that cannot be taken forward by the private sector. So what they're talking about here is
unlocking investment that can't be provided by the... That just means they will give us free money.
Well, sort of, kind of. So, like, what this is sort of a concept that's very much at the heart of a lot of, like, what Labour is doing, and I think also what Labour is doing with, like, the health service and AI and all this other stuff, is, like, what they're doing, this is a process known as de-risking, and this is, like, a very lib thing. It's also very much like the goal of the National Wealth Fund, which is also bullshit, but a different episode.
Socialising the losses and privatising the gains, yeah. Okay.
Sort of, kind of. So, like, at a very basic level, like developing new green technologies like efficient battery storage, better solar panels, heat pumps, all that stuff. Developing that stuff doesn't always work out because it's new tech, and sometimes the new tech doesn't scale, doesn't quite do what you want it to do. It's not adaptable, blah, blah. There's like a host of reasons why these things fail. So essentially what de-risking is like the government saying, or GB Energy saying, is we will either take a stake in or be like the financial backstop for all these new technologies, all these risky investments, like, say build a big port in Teesside with a big CO2 hoover on the gas plant, because, that's our other bid, the carbon capture and storage plant in actual Teesside, which is not GB Energy, mind. I know that can be confusing, but not the same thing. So because the state is now saying we will backstop you and we will provide financial guarantees, private capital can flood in at a lower interest rate because obviously this is now a much safer investment. And, the good things will happen because now you have, the financial hose pipe of the government welded to the efficiency of the private sector, and that always creates good things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like tiny modular nuclear reactors.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, little nuclear reactors everywhere. So this is what is known as a stability premium. This is essentially like when Starmer keeps saying, we want the rules to be clear and the finances to be clear so business has the confidence to invest. This is the corollary to that. It's like business also has the confidence to invest if you take all the risk out of it or guarantee the returns, right? Because there's only upside for you to come and invest now.
Yeah.
It's also...
I love when the free money is also too big to fail.
Yes. So this is like, this process of de-risking. You can also call it like crowding in. Basically, what you do is you create these super favorable market conditions, distorted market conditions, so the private sector can come in and do magic wizard things without, the thing that the private sector is supposed to be, which is take risk, and if it doesn't work and it fails, it fails. But, that's creative destruction. That's the basis of modern capitalism. It just takes the destruction part out of it and assumes that the creativity will therefore be all that's left.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a strategy that can't fail. And also, like, the other thing is by running all this, like all the major investment through the private sector instead of the government, it allows the state to keep this money like off the UK balance sheet. So like it takes on a lot of risk, right? But many of those projects will work out. So like we won't actually have to pay out any money. It's more of an insurance scheme. So if all the schemes work out fine, the government will have more assets and not have spent any money. Unless, of course, the schemes aren't fine. And, in the case of, say, Thurrock Council, goes completely bankrupt and there's like a big, giant, recrimination and council tax goes up by, I think, 20% or something like that. But that won't happen because this is GB Energy.
And no one's ever scammed an insurance scheme before. So, like,
no. But even with all this stuff, right? Even when you de-risk it, when like a major function of GB Energy will be to be this sort of is not to build like an actual, tiny modular power plant or anything along those lines. It is to de-risk these assets and like sort of act as a financial backstop. But even then, there was a letter written by a woman called Lucy Shaw, who is the former infrastructure investor for Blackstone, which, does make essentially Darth... Yeah, like Darth Vader, essentially, but still. Like, this is someone who definitely wears, like, a
Darth
fucking
investor.
Sith outfit to work. Yeah. So but ththese are the people like Blackstone.
Darth Vester. Darth Vester is actually an extremely fucking George Lucas house name, to be fair.
Yeah. But like even then, after all that, right? This is a letter written by Lucy Shaw to the Financial Times, and she's a former infrastructure investor for Blackstone, which is this massive fuck off private investment fund. Like these are the people that like Labour wants to invest with this de-risking stuff, with GB Energy as the backstop. Quote, it is also not clear that the government would crowd in any new investment for existing renewable technology by funding projects directly. Investors are eager to develop projects, but cannot get them connected to the grid. The BBC reported that £200 billion worth of projects was sitting in a queue as of May 2023, totaling hundreds of gigawatts. So maybe necessarily the problem isn't so much energy production as it is Britain's creaking like energy infrastructure. Like the grid is simply not capable of handling this much like wind energy. This is like a known problem. However, statutorily and by law, GB Energy can only concern itself with the production of energy, not the distribution or storage of energy.
Yes.
Oh, fucking excellent. Yes, it is.
Well, it doesn't need to do that because we have British Volt for storage of energy.
Yeah, we're gonna spin the turbines up, and we're just gonna like yeet the electrons into this big fucking pit we dug in the northeast.
Yeah, we're going to put a hat on the electrons.
So then, importantly, the question of does it then, quote unquote, bring down your energy bills? Because that's, money in your does it put money in your pocket? I mean, it's like,
is it no?
But the question is like, I don't know. It's like maybe, probably not. Like if what GB Energy sets out to do, even in the stupid like public-private cooperation thing, if it works out the way it is supposed to work, and a whole bunch of renewable plants get built. And the profits don't simply get sluiced through to the energy companies and like the people who built it. Like maybe like more renewable energy is better than like more gas or coal or oil, power plants. So in that sense, it is better. But does it put money in your pocket? So Starmer keeps promising that by 2030 you will have £300 off your bill.
What, a year?
He never says a year.
Does that account for inflation?
Well, the weird thing is the head of GB Energy, the chairman, who is the ex-CEO of Siemens, when asked this question several times, he never makes this specific promise. He doesn't say ever £300
why that is.
in your pocket.
Oh man, that's so good. Like, oh yeah, your energy bills have like doubled in the space of like 3 or 4 years, but we're gonna take off like 10% of that maybe in another 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, he has suddenly, because I was like looking back on like when Summer said this £300 off your bill bit, right? And like he has changed it very slightly because now he keeps saying up to 300 off your bills. So it could be
that. Yeah, and that fucking snake Starmer has never said something that technically, if you actually look what I originally said, I would never actually give an interview to The Sun in this campaign.
Yeah. So there was also this is during the committee hearings about the bill that established GB Energy. This is a bit from The National. GB Energy chairman Jürgen Meyer, the ex-CEO of Siemens, told MPs the price of energy was, quote, not in the scope of the bill, after being asked by Stephen Flynn when he expected GB Energy to bring down energy bills. Okay, so the price of energy not being in the scope is a bit like, so why does everybody keep saying that they're going to put money in your pocket when that is like, by statute, not the thing?
Because that's literally all they know how to fucking say.
That's some like slightly more practical stuff. So last month, this is part of the reason why we're doing this now, because I saw these press releases. Ed Miliband like proudly announced that they had started putting solar panels on schools and on hospital roofs. We mentioned it on a previous podcast, and it's like at the time, and I said, and I still stand by it. That's like that's a good thing. That's unalloyed good. It reduces energy bills. They could spend that money on doctors and whatever, school kit and whatever the fuck. So technically, they did do that because last month I found the numbers this time. They installed solar panels on the tops of 11 schools, saving, and this is according to the government's own press release, those 11 schools combined £175,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay. Very good. How many of those schools need to be pulled down in the next few years because of the concrete?
They listed the schools. I didn't check them for for the concrete shit, but like
no. I'm not asking if you checked them for the concrete shit, Rob. I'm asking if they checked them for the concrete shit.
So we are now dealing with levels of incrementalism that can only be measured with an electron microscope. That is just staggeringly nothing. Like, and this is still gonna make it onto the deep fried JPEG. Like, I just know it. Fuck off.
And bear in mind, Labour started at the start of the election cycle with £28 billion a year, and we're now down to like they had this like little sort of Excel sheet with all the 11 schools on it, and like the lowest number was like this school will save £4,000 a year, and it's like you can't hire a teacher for that.
£4,000 a year for a whole school, like. He's just so insulting. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, the press release actually says because these schools now have solar panels, they will be able to pay for teachers and textbooks instead. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, it's £4,000. I'm sure it can do, it can be better spent than fucking giving it to Octopus Energy, like, no doubt. But, like, what the fuck are we talking about now at this point?
Oh, don't worry about it. They can give it to the fucking water company instead.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, this is like this little ticky-tacky thing is like a much larger £180 million package. So, like, it's not nothing. But again, it's like when you conceive of the actual scale that this stuff is meant to fix, you're nowhere. Like, you'll fucking...
Wait, so... Rob...
It's not nothing, but it is fuck all.
So what you're saying to me is these 11 schools having solar panels installed, saving those schools collectively £175,000 a year, was obtained by spending £180 million.
No, that's like that. This is like a tiny fraction of a larger haul. Not
right.
Like,
okay. I was gonna say.
I'm a snotty bitch, but that would have been.
Value for money in your pocket.
A return on investment of 0.1%, baby.
Well, actually, I can give you like again. I was just literally just like having a very quick look. So, according to the educational statistics people, there are 32,149 schools across the UK. So, if this 180 million package is, let's say, all for schools, and we're just ignoring the hospitals, right? So 180 million divided by 32,000, and change schools is just a hair under £6,000 per school. I'm sure they'll be able to buy many. I think IKEA started selling solar panels.
Yeah.
So maybe.
It's awful that this podcast can repeatedly defeat the entire government's plans by simply dividing one number by another.
Yeah. Another great announcement, by the way, just while we're in the realm of like
one thing we didn't want to happen.
Another great announcement that was from somewhere in June was they want to subsidize energy prices for electricity-intensive businesses in the manufacturing sector, like automotive, aerospace, and chemical industries. Basically, though, they have said if we don't get a better deal on energy prices, then we're leaving. So the government has decided to like subsidize their, their energy use essentially. I mean, I will say, like, in its favor with GB Energy, and this is very mild again, but like they are only getting like tax breaks when they do like when they specifically buy green energy, or like, you know, they must use specific funds for specific purposes. So it's not like aimless, but you know, it's also, it seems kind of pointless. Essentially, but again, I read the government press release. More than 7,000 businesses will be able to apply for these tax breaks, which take up like by far the most funding of GB Energy in its first 2 years of operations. More than 7,000 businesses sounds like a lot until, once again, you know, you do the very basic checking, and it turns out there are 5.5 million registered businesses in the UK. So, you know. And look, most of those are like one-man firms and, I don't know, you know, non-relevant things, but still.
Yeah, third-rate podcasts.
There's also a new partnership with the Crown Estates, if you remember from many thousands of episodes ago, meaning, you know, that it'll help the country build more offshore wind, because in case you've forgotten, the entire offshore seabed is owned by the Crown, so you can't build any without the Crown's permission, and also without the Crown taking a cut. Whether or not this announcement actually matters is very unsure, because like Crown Estates had already announced they were going to do like more auctions for like plots to build windmills on. So like it's not really clear whether or not this like piggybacks on that, or whether or not it's actually anything new. But according to the government, this has the potential to leverage up to £60 billion of investment into the UK's drive for energy independence. You know, and if all that went ahead, it would double the UK's offshore wind capacity from about 30 gigawatt to 60 gigawatt. But that would make wind up to 60% of the UK's current energy mix, which would be awesome. Like that would be fucking great if we could get like 60%, you know, from energy from wind. But I very much doubt that that's going to happen, because GB Energy has invested like £100 million with the fucking Crown Estates. Yeah. Like that's just, this is not going to happen.
No.
But then there was the last thing. This is sort of the last thing I wanted to mention before, like, we draw to a conclusion. Is like the other thing that seems that Labour seems very keen on is like they keep like going up to Scotland to like do all these announcements, because obviously like the oil and gas sector is focused around Aberdeen, and that's why Great British Energy is also going to have its headquarters in Aberdeen. It's partly because like the unions are very pissy about like this energy transition, and they're worried about their workers' jobs. And it's also partially because they want to, you know, give some treats to Scotland, essentially.
Treats. What wonderful fucking treats.
Well, we'll get, so the jobs, the many jobs created by situating the headquarters of GB Energy in Aberdeen. I got that all wrong. I should have quoted Keir Starmer, who said that Great British Energy would be led by the talent and skills of the working people in the Granite City.
Fuck off.
Not that many people, though. It's a bit weird because, like, again, it keeps being overestimated because the CEO said in an interview with Sky TV that it could take up to 5 years to create 200 to 300 jobs and up to 2 decades to create 1,000 jobs at GB Energy. So in the meantime, I'm not really sure what the good people of Aberdeen are supposed to do. I suppose just, like, keep working in oil and gas.
50 jobs a year. No, yeah 50 jobs a year for 1,000 jobs. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think a lot of the people that live in Aberdeen actually do work in oil and gas. I'm pretty sure most of them are from all over the place. Because they will quite happily pay to fly these people out from fucking anywhere to go work on rigs.
Yeah, but it would, by putting the headquarters in Aberdeen, it would, David, maximise Scotland's influence on the world stage.
Has anyone ever held influence from Aberdeen? Like, is that a thing that's known to happen?
I don't know. Where's Liam from?
Glasgow.
All right. Well, sorry, Aberdeen.
I mean, the funniest thing, though,
the only thing Aberdeen has going for it here is that it's the only place in the country that has aesthetics that can match Keir Starmer's personality.
So, like, again, this is ticky-tacky shit, and, like, I'm not the fucking, cover of the Daily Mail, but just, like, give you, like, a sort of indication of how serious we should take GB Energy being, in the Granite City and all that shit. It's just, like, when Starmer went up to make the announcement of this headquarters situationing, he did so on a private jet, and then later clarified that, they bought some carbon offsets. So,
Oh, like, good. Oh, good. Carbon offsets. Yeah, we flew over a big fucking CO2 scrubber on our way over, so it's actually fine.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. That's all saved up for the big hat.
So, like, in summary, like, GB Energy is a fucking loser, and I think it's also deliberately set up for failure by the Treasury, by Morgan McSweeney, by the freaks who just, like, don't want, don't think that this is a thing the government should be doing because of highly ideological reasons. It also won't be building things, like even there was an IPPR report that I read as well, and their estimate was like if the £8.3 billion fully materializes, then by 2030 they could target a maximum of 5% of the UK's energy generation capacity. So even if we put it all towards like the best possible state-owned use, 8.3 billion would only get you, to 5%. So you need 160 billion. Like the original 140 odd billion that we were talking about was the correct estimate, and it will also not, do the jobs. If during the energy transition, like the remaining rig jobs in Scotland and around Aberdeen go. What I think it will do instead is it will actively make people like dissatisfied and mad at the idea of green energy and like the public owning green energy assets.
I mean, like we know what this Labour Party is like, and it would not even in the slightest surprise me that the sole reason this is such a fucking piss weak bullshit enterprise is that it's because it's headed by someone they don't like, Ed Miliband. Like, they've spent the entire time he's been fucking was it in Energy and Environment Secretary or whatever it fucking is, just pantsing him constantly. Like, and we know that these freaks in like Number 10 and Labour HQ are like monomaniacal in their quest to just obliterate anyone they see as vaguely too left wing, and like because Ed Miliband falls under that umbrella, therefore his entire fucking briefing has to be just have the legs cut out from under it at every step. And like if that means that we are cast into the wilderness after our term in government, then so be it. It was worth it, and I'm glad I did it, and if I go back and do it again, I'll do it all the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking like it's just horrendous. Like, and I don't know. Like, I have some vestigial respect for Ed Miliband, but like he's also such a fucking loser that he keeps putting up with this shit. And I don't see how he doesn't see like where this is all headed, where this is all going essentially. And like, I just want to come briefly back to like that point that the FT made up top is like, in order to get fully renewable for UK energy, like, you would need to triple offshore wind, double onshore wind, triple solar, and, expand energy storage capacity by a factor of 4. So, like...
Which are all eminently doable if you're prepared to fucking do it.
Yes. But, like, yeah, so it's just... GB Energy is just a sham for the worst people to pretend that they're doing something. And it really, like... When fucking Ed Miliband, when all of them like talk about it in this way, you should like fucking, you should they either consciously or unconsciously they are fucking lying to you, and it's one of those things that really pisses me off because like turning off like another fucking generation or another decade of people against clean energy, against the promise of state ownership, against the idea that the state can do something when like. It has literally never been more critical that the state does these things and does them properly. Is malfeasance and bad government on like a fucking criminal scale. It just sucks fucking shit. And I'm just
at that point where like, what do you expect from the Labour Party?
Yeah, me too. But it's like, but it is worthwhile to like sort of explore it in some detail because like they just use words and like vibes, and it just sucks fucking shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all I had to talk about for today.
No, that's good. I think we should wrap this episode up here then, folks. So, if you would like bonus episodes, 2 per month, sometimes more if we're feeling up to it, that is patreon.com/praxiscast. I nearly forgot what the fucking website was. How bad's that? You can get t-shirts, praxiscast.tmail.com, and you can see streams, which is at 6:30 on Sundays. That's twitch.tv/praxiscast. I think that, there's nothing else, is there?
No.
Okay, cool. We've done everything. So, okay, bye.
Stop recording. Bye.
Bye.